Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk to you about Home Before Dark Season 1. Home Before Dark is a Apple Plus television series and is based off a real life person and slight real events. So it's loosely based off of real events. So pretty much every single last thing you see in the show pretty much didn't happen, but it's based off of certain events. I forgot how I first heard about this show. I honestly don't even remember how. And so, like, I really don't. But I remember a long time ago, I watched the trailer. I thought to myself, oh, okay, that looks pretty interesting and stuff like that. And then when I saw that it was based off of like a real life person, I'm like, that's like really, really interesting and stuff, you know? It came out in 2020. And so, like, it's a pretty good show. I'm not really a crime drama type person. I really don't watch those type of shows. There's only been like a handful of them. But I do like certain like detective type shows and stuff like that. But this is more of a like investigative reporter type thing. Even though she has more like a detective, but that hence gives you the whole um investigative reporter type stuff. And so it's based off of a real life person named Hildy, and I cannot say her last name. Um, Lace. Oh, I can't even say it. I don't want to butcher her last name. uh, I want to say Lace or something like that. God, I just don't know how to say her last name. I feel bad. And so, but they changed her name in the show to that of Hildy Lisco. And so, like, basically, what happened in real life was that, let me see if I can find this article. Basically, she was like a 9-year-old girl at the time. She's like 16 right now or something like that. But back when she was 9 years old, she overheard a cop say something. Now her father is a like news reporter type person, and so like what had happened was they moved back home to his hometown because they were from like New York, and they moved back to his small hometown, right? And one day she overheard like a police officer talking about somebody's been murdered, right? And so, like, what she decided to do was she decided she was going to be the first person to report about this before the actual news people. So, like, she went back home. I think her dad helped her, like, type out some stuff, what to say, or something like that to help polish it up. And then she hit, I don't know, I think she has, like, her own website or something like that, and also YouTube. And so she broke the story. And this made headlines. And so basically, after that, people left her nasty comments talking about you only 9 years old, like play with dolls and stuff like that. And so that like really like got under her skin. And so she started her own newspaper thing. Let's see, it's called the Orange Street News. And so like her sister helps along with that, and so like and then she started just reporting like like being a typical reporter. And she was like the youngest reporter like ever, I think, in like American history and stuff. And so basically she didn't help solve a crime, she just reported about it. And so like because of that, she's done that for many years. And I think she moved, and then at some point in time in 2019 she was almost arrested because she was at the border patrol, and she started recording the cop, and he's all like, are you taping me, are you taping me? And basically was all like, it's against the law to like videotape me and blah blah blah, which it's not. You're allowed to videotape a cop and stuff, so you can have like some type of like physical proof of what they're doing and stuff. And so because of that, I think he got like reassigned and got in trouble and stuff like that. And so I think something she said once, like a quote, like she feels teenagers need more, like to get more involved in stuff, instead of just sitting back and like, just letting stuff fly past them, like get more involved, especially when you become like an adult, so you know what's going on, stuff like that. And I remember reading somewhere that her dad back in the day used to take her on like his assignments because he was a news reporter type person. And I have mixed feelings about that because, seriously, it's like a little kid, like a lot of kids interpret things different ways and different kids. So with some, it might traumatize them, and others, it might get them more like, wanting to do something like, be like a cop or like some type of first responder growing up, or some of them turn into monsters. So I had mixed feelings about like the father taking her so young to like all these crime scenes and stuff like that, because it could traumatize a lot of people. Like you have no idea. Like seriously, like I said, like it can like, scare the crap out of somebody. It could make them want to like, be a detective, be like a medical, or it could just turn them into a monster. And so basically, I don't know what she's doing right now. I think she still has like a new newspaper thing because they moved someplace else, and then she's with this other like organization. But I think she's still a news reporter, I think. And so basically, this show, and how in the world I've been talking for 6 minutes? Anyway, this show is very similar to that. It's based off of basically her family's from New York. They moved back to the dad's old town, but there's a mystery. He his past has come out to bite him in the butt. And it's a small like community where everybody knows everybody's business. And there's a murder cover up and everything. There are crooked cops and like all kind of stuff, right? And so basically, when she like, I don't know what the real Hildy is like, but in the show, basically she's like a super cop and everything. She has a photographic memory. She's very smart. She's extremely impulsive and everything. She always gets her way, and she's very rude to like everybody and stuff. And she just pretty much inserts her, like the girl got moxie, you know what I'm saying? And so like, and of course that helps her like, investigate stuff and determine stuff, but she's too good. She's too much of a super cop. Like because of her photographic memory, she's able to piece together how certain crimes like went down. Like some type of, she acts like a CSI type person. It reminds me of what was that show I recently talked about a couple of months ago? It's on Amazon Prime. It's like this cop, and he went to a small town to find out his brother's murder, and he's able to just look at a couple of stuff and like just analyze everything and determine like how many steps this person took and what weapon they used, stuff like that. I can't stand super cops and TV shows. That gets on my nerves. I hate when people are able to figure stuff out like that, like super fast and stuff. So that became very annoying. And so when she is in town, she notices a lot. Like she's the type of person who just looks at everything and analyzes everything. And it becomes very annoying at times because it's like, she sees people digging holes, putting up a for sale sign. She sees people putting up yard sales, and she's all like, why did they dig that hole for? It's during a certain time of the day and blah, blah, blah. Like she's always like assuming like the worst and everything, right? And so like she goes and she rides a little scooter, which I like when she rides her scooter. It's kind of cool. And also when she rides the bike. But anyway, when she's riding the scooter and everything, like, cause she goes to like one of the neighbors' house and they're having a yard sale. And so the lady, tells her, oh, I knew your dad from like back in the day. And she walks the girl home. And so she gives the girl a gift to give to her dad. It's a bike. And basically, it freaks her dad out. Ever since her dad has moved back into town, he's been acting very, very, very weird. Well, the next day, the lady from the yard sale ends up dead and everything. When she goes back to visit the lady, the cops are pretending like, oh, she just slipped and fell down the stairs and everything like that. Well, the girl is so impulsive. She's trying to like move around the cops and go inside the house and look at the dead body. She does that a lot. It's like, I don't understand why they wrote her like that for. Because she's just a 9-year-old girl. And so, like, she thinks that this lady was murdered. So what does she do? She hops online to her website. She posts like, oh, this neighbor got murdered, and she sends it to everybody in her school. Well, all the kids at school are laughing at her. Now, her and her older sister don't really get along that much. Basically, Hildy is very weird and awkward, and it always causes her sister embarrassment and stuff. And, when Hildy finds out that, people have been saying mean things about her, she decides to stand on the table and read the comments out loud, which is similar to what she did when, people wrote those nasty comments to her about posting that, that dead body and stuff. So pretty much after that, like, it's pretty much, I'm assuming fiction and everything, because when I'm looking online and trying to research this, I can't find no evidence that she actually solved the case. It's just that she reported about it. But they make the show into like this murder mystery. It's 10 episodes, about an hour. It's a slow burn, a bit bleak and everything. And that's how a lot of Apple Plus shows are. They're very drawn out. They're very slightly bleak and everything. But this one, even though it is drawn out, they do get right to the point and everything, right? And so she is gonna solve this murder. And then her dad's like, no, you can't do this, and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, dude, you used to be like a journalist back in the day, but you gave up, and blah, blah, blah. And then basically she tells her dad, like, I am gonna solve this case. And she hops on her scooter and she heads off and everything. And, now in the real Hildy, her dad, like, he'll help her out a little bit here and there to polish up her words, but other than that, he lets her have like her free range and stuff. So basically, it's one lead that leads to another, and of course, she is just like any good like detective mystery type thing. She starts blaming people, getting things wrong. Well, basically, a lot of stuff has always happened out of plot armor. Like when she hits the police station and she's demanding to see the police report on like the lady who supposedly slipped and fell, but they don't want her to see it because she's a little girl. Well, she finds a female cop, and the female cop lets her. Basically, this female cop, Trip, I believe her name is, they're really good buds throughout the show. And Trip just pretty much lets her do anything. Like, when they go into the dead lady's house, like, she tells her, like, look, you can come with me, but you have to stay outside. And so she starts knocking on the door, but nobody's answering the door. Oh, no, she went to somebody's house, not the dead lady. She went to somebody's house. When she suspects this one dude. Anyway, I'll get to that later. So when she's looking at the photo, she noticed something. There's something missing from the yard sale, a VCR, but she has no idea what a VCR is. And so she has to find this VCR. And when she stands on the table and does her little speech, it starts a food fight and everything. Because somebody threw food at her, and then her sister threw food at somebody else. So they're all in trouble and stuff like that. And, parents are pissed at her about the whole, this person was murdered thing. So when she's in the principal's office, she notices something. The principal no longer has her little dolphin necklace thing on. So for whatever reason, she gets suspicious. Why? I don't know. She just does, because she gets suspicious about everything. And so like she looks around the room and she sees a Moby Dick book. If you don't know who Moby Dick is, and what was his name? Was it Ahab? I think it was. Yeah, Ahab, I think. Then wow, what have you been learning in school? Anyway, so she looks behind the book and oh, look what's there. The little dolphin necklace with the keys and stuff. She's opened up this little secret compartment like thing, and what does she find in the closet? VCR. Convenient plot armor. So she gets suspicious and she steals it. And she goes home and she watches the tape. And the tape has a bunch of boys riding a bike. And then so they're just like down by some type of like kind of like a chemical factory, kind of. And then all of a sudden, the van pulls up, kidnaps one, the boy. And then everybody's like acting crazy. And she spots somebody she recognized. It's her dad in the video as a little boy. How does she know it's her dad? Because from a far away distance, she really can't tell who is what. I don't know. She's really good like that. And so at first I started thinking, well, maybe the dad killed that woman because he got very suspicious and stuff. Basically, the principal knows her dad, and so does one of the sheriff deputies and stuff, and lots of other people. Somebody has been spying on their house. She realizes that, hey, it maybe is like a sheriff deputy's car, and so she suspects it's him. He's acting kind of weird. He wants Max, her father, to stay out the business. Everybody keeps saying, oh, you should never came back home, because once he came back home, that lady ended up dead. And so she's trying to solve the murder of who killed this woman. Well, when she wants to talk to her brother who is in prison, because the brother calls the house and he wants to talk to the little girl. And so, like, the person who works there, like one of the guards, won't let him talk to her. So what does she do? Impulsively, her and her two new friends she just made at school, somehow they hopped on like a laptop at the school, got on the Wi-Fi, and talked to him via Zoom in prison. Because nowadays you can talk to prisoners like on Zoom and emails and stuff like that. They got too much freedom there. And so, like, this pisses off the principal and everything. And basically, using her photographic memory, she realizes something. The dude does not want to say who probably killed his sister or something like that, or killed somebody. And so somehow she figures out that it might be that guard dude. So she goes back to Lieutenant Tripp, the police officer lady, and they go to his house, or somebody's house. I think it is his house. Tripp is like banging on the door and stuff like that. And Miss Impulsive decides to open the window and go inside. This pisses Tripp off. She's like, you just can't break into like a person's home. I swear to God, this girl does whatever she wants. And then she finds pill bottles and stuff prescribed to the woman who died and everything. So they realize it was him. Well, that murder leads to a disappearance and murder of a little boy. I forget his name. It might be Seth. Look, I don't know. I forget. I just watched this show. And then I had stopped after 5 episodes because, why did I stop? I realized something. Okay, if this is not based on a true story and everything, and not only that, but it just took the fun out of it and everything. Like, if it's not based on like an actual true story, it just takes the fun of it making everything up. And I hate when shows do that, like Scorpion or Cocaine Bear, which is the little girl in this is also going to star in that movie. And so, like, not only that, but when I got to the 5th episode, I realized something. This does not seem realistic at all, that this little girl is literally riding her bike all the way around town and like investigating a murder, 2 murders and stuff. And she's impulsive. She's telling everybody off. She tells the cops off. She tells the parents off. She tells everybody off. She's rude to everybody. She's able to figure things out within seconds. She's leading to her to one clue to like another to another. And it's just like, it don't seem believable that it's a 9-year-old girl doing this. Now, I've watched teen detective shows before, Ghost Rider from PBS back in the 90s, and I watch The Adventures of Shirley Holmes and stuff. But, at least with Ghost Rider, they had a ghost helping them out and everything. And with Shirley Holmes, well, she's like the niece of Sherlock Holmes and everything. And so, it just didn't feel that believable coming from like a little 9-year-old girl. And then she has her two best friends who are also her age helping her out. They don't really help out that much. They mostly just assist. And I'm just like, this don't seem believable. So I stopped. But then after I stopped, I'm like, I'm kind of curious. But I'm like, oh, wait, my Apple Plus is finally going to run out. I've had this thing free for 3 months and I've just now started watching stuff in 1 week. Because I had like Hulu and like Disney Plus and all this other stuff. So I was trying to get through those shows. And then like, I'm like, okay, I only got Apple Plus so I can watch Dickinson and everything. And I already watched that, so I'm like, I might as well watch some other stuff. And so I'm like, oh crap, I only got like a few days and a couple of hours left. So I tried to hurry up those last 5 episodes and stuff. I even had to fast forward a couple of times and stuff when all the like talking and chattering stuff happens. But basically, there's a dude named Sam. He's a Native American man and he's been framed for the murder of a boy who disappeared back in the day. Now, what happened was they think he drove the van because he has a van that's very similar to that van. And not only that, but the sheriff dude is super racist. And his son used to be friends with Hildy's son, father and stuff. And so Hildy's father, back in the day when he was younger, he confessed and told the truth of everything he saw. Well, the little boy who's now like a sheriff deputy and the father is a sheriff, he lied. His father pretty much forced him to lie, talking about, are you sure you saw the license plate? Are you sure it's this van? He's all like, come on, man. You know, Sam's a weird person and he's always hanging around you little boys. And he had y'all drink beer that one time. He's a weird fella. His dad is super racist. So they pinned it on him and he's been in prison the entire time, even though there's no body they never found. And so she is determined to get him out and everything and to find the disappearance of this boy's body. And so the bike that she now rides around that girl, the lady gave him, the dead lady, is the bike of the little boy that, went missing and stuff. And so with more unbelievable stuff that kind of like happened was kind of like the principal. So when the dad started to get like a backbone again, he's went to go talk to his former friend who's a cop. And his friend beat the snot out of him. Why? Because he's all like, I have the video footage of like what happened that night. And it shows that you lied and everything. So he tore up that tape and now he wants the original copy. Well, guess who has the original copy? The principal. And she's all like, oh, I can't give you the keys to go to my closet to get to the tape of the original copy. But then she leaves it on the keys on the table. It's all like, I'm just going to leave for 10 minutes and whatever happens, happens. And so I'm just like, dude, that don't happen in real life. Like, you're literally helping this little girl do this. And it's like, that's not believable. And it's so much plot armor. The girl gets everything she wants. And so, like, they see more footage on there that they never saw before. It's the boy. So this boy, who is he and stuff? So they have to figure it out. But then she figures it out within seconds because she remembers because she saw a picture of him at school when he was younger. Pretty much everybody is tied some way or another, right? And so more leads are leading to like more, and then they let Sam out just so he can go to his sister's funeral. Well, he ends up escaping, and then Hildy ends up going missing, and she follows Sam because she wants him to get away and everything. So they head on foot at night to like, to the airport and everything. Well, the whole town's looking for them. The cops are looking for them. And the one cop is starting to have a conscience now. And it's kind of like, my dad made me lie and stuff like that. Well, they end up finding Sam and all this. And they bring him back in. Only for the cop who has a conscience to lie again. Because his father's pissed at him. Oh, did I mention this girl literally runs around all over town and especially at night and into wooden cabins at night, and that's their headquarters and stuff with her two other little friends? It is so like, that's not believable. Shit is kind of believable. Back in the old days, like 1950s, you can do stuff like that back then. But now there's crazy people in town, in the world. And you just can't go around at night being a little kid and going into wooden cabins and making that your headquarters and stuff like that. And hanging out with prisoners and stuff. The show is good, don't get me wrong, but it's just so unbelievable and everything. And so basically, um, what is it? What is it? What is it? I forget what happens after that, but somehow they start to realize, like she's, finding more clues, this and that, and it leads her now to her grandfather. Her grandfather has Alzheimer's, and when he's talking to Sam, when it was like about the escape and everything, he mentioned some guy with a snake. So basically, the dude who went missing, the little boy who got kidnapped, his father, the mayor of all people, was a really mean dude and had bruises. So the dad used to smack him around. And he gave him that, he bought him like a red bike. But he's all like, red's not my favorite color, green is. And so dad's like, all right, you don't get no bike. And then so Hildy's grandfather, who used to work at a bike shop, gave him a bike for free. And so it's the green bike that she rides around. Well, the grandfather set on fire, this and that. Anyway, do 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 do. She gets a brand new bike that's like blue, and now she's constantly riding around town with a really like edgy look on her face because she's gonna solve this crime. Then here come her two friends, meeting up with her, just riding down the street, all edgy and everything. It's so weird. Like, I would expect them to solve the case of like the missing, like, I don't know, cat in the tree or something like that, or like the pie on the shelf, but not like a murder mystery. Especially we see them on their bikes and stuff. And so now they have to find the dude with the snake tattoos and this and that. Well, they realize he is related to the librarian. And who is the librarian's daughter? The principal and everything. So they suspect, she's up to something. Well, after some more investigative tactics and everything, they realize, I forget why the librarian kidnapped the little boy for. But basically, when he was in the back of the truck, he tried to fight his way out, and he stabbed her nephew with a knife in the gut. And the knife was given to him by Sam. Oh no, I remember they found like a jacket with blood on it, and then when they ran a DNA sample on it, it had her DNA on it. And so the principal lady's kind of like, that was kind of convenient. When I was younger, we was looking for the missing dude, and we just so happened to find this jacket that first wasn't there, but it appeared seconds later, like you planted it there. But then, the DNA is all on there and stuff. So basically what it was is that her mother actually went by a fake name. Her mom's actually a criminal and stuff like that. And so maybe they kidnapped that boy to get like a ransom. I don't know. I had to fast forward because my subscription was running out. Prescription, like medicine. I'm the world, man. It's late. All right, it's late, and so I had to fast forward. I think they were trying to ransom him off or something like that. But he fought. He stabbed that dude, and then so the mom's all like, "Oh no, you stabbed the boy! No, you stabbed my nephew! Oh no, what I'm gonna do?" And so he's all like, "Screw you! I'm driving on out of here." So he put the boy back in the car, and he drove off. So the woman's like, "Oh no!" And so then she tries to get rid of like the bloody shirt and everything like that. And then her nephew ends up calling. He's all like, I can't run no more. I've been stabbed. So anyway. And so he got rid of the van and the boy. The boy was still inside the van when he got rid of it. So she finally confesses to dad and oh no, now she's all in trouble and stuff. But now they have to find the van. Well, her and her dad are in the woods and she sees a piece of metal in the tree. So then they walk a little bit further and they see a lake. Well, they pull the van out the lake. When they open it up, they have like a sheet so nobody can see, but Miss Impulsive runs behind the sheet and there's nobody inside the van. she takes a good look at it and she starts to see certain things. She's like, he must have did this and then he did that. What if he's still alive? And then it ends and everything, you know? Oh, the corrupt cop dude, he loses his job and everything. Trip, she becomes the new sheriff. And so now the second season starts and like, you know, they have to find the missing boy and everything. Well, I can't watch the second season because my subscription ran out. Plus, I don't really want to watch it anyway. But basically, they find him and it's some type, I think, chemical lab cover up type thing. It's something. But anyways, that is basically what this show is all about in a nutshell. And I will admit, it is very interesting. It is very intriguing. And it is cool to see, you know, one clue lead to like another and all these like red herrings. And then later on, where all the clues start to come together and you find out that the smaller people in town actually lead to that of a bigger picture and stuff. And it's great to see like corrupt cops, you know, get their justice and everything for them getting fired and everything. It's great that the boy is not dead and stuff. But at that same time, it was kind of like, you know, it would have been like the big hurrah, like, oh, you saw the murder mystery. But no, now she saw the missing persons thing, you know. And honestly, I think this would have done better for me if this was kind of like, you know, episodic. Instead of it being like a whole season arc, it would have been better if it was episodic and she's solving multiple mysteries. Then we get to see how good her gumshoe detective skills are, you know? But when it comes to like her two friends, it's just so like it's so unbelievable that one 9-year-old girl and then her two friends who are 9-year-old assist in like these gruesome murder mystery type things. It just seems so unbelievable. It seems so unbelievable how she's able to get around town. It's unbelievable how like this one police officer lets her do whatever she wants and everything. And it's so unbelievable how this girl talks down to everybody. Like, you know how a lot of modern stuff lately, females are written to be strong characters. They can do like anything, and like they're very like rude to people, mainly men, and they just condescending. Think of that, but in the 9-year-old's body, amped up by 100, and that is her. And there's nothing wrong with the actress. She does a good job and everything. It's just the way she's written. She's written to be very annoying and everything because she's written to be a super cop who really has no flaws. But the only time she ever has flaws is when she assumes somebody did something and they didn't do it, you know? And that becomes annoying. Like, you have to have more flaws in your hero character, and she really doesn't have any, to tell you the truth. And it's just weird. This 9-year-old girl is literally a super cop when she's not even playing detective. She's playing news reporter person. And I don't know, man. It's just kind of like it just became off-putting for me because of that. And it was hard for me to stay invested because literally every time she would talk to somebody, she would literally talk down to people. And people in the show was even like, oh, you got a tone and a mouth on you. And then she would say something rude on top of that. And it's just like, at least the writers are aware she's super rude and everything, you know? But it's just like, I wish she wasn't written like that. And I wish she was a little bit older and stuff. Because then it'd be a little bit more believable, kind of like Nancy Drew or the Hardy Boys or something. But all in all, like I said before, this is an enjoyable show. Like, you'll watch it and you'll be kind of like, you know, amazed and everything about how one clue leads to another that reveals like more stuff about the townspeople and stuff. But it is very slow paced, and because it's so placed and the muted color of like, you know, the filter they use, it does feel a bit bleak at times and stuff. Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk to you about